This is Mr. Said Hadioui. He lives in Mantes-la-Jolie in France, a town near Paris, and he was converted to Ahmadiyyat about 2 years ago through watching MTA programs. And he's already taken part in a few liqa al-Arab programs too.
I know personally, but I wanted the viewers to know.
Yes, of course. Certain Muslims condemn Huzur and the Jamaat Ahmadiyya for not defending Islam according to them as it's being done these days in Afghanistan or in Algeria or Palestine. So how should we answer that condemnation?
First of all, they condemn us for not participating in something they call Jihad, which we do not call Jihad. So the primary thing is to decide whose definition of Jihad is correct according to the Quran and Sunnah. And does the Jihad also apply to their concept of Jihad in accordance with the Quran, and do we find any signs of Allah's support for them? And also it has to be decided which side of the Muslims fighting against Muslims is true believer and which side is not true believers. So this is just a fantastic attack on Ahmadiyyat which has no reality. Fantasy is something you imagine. So imagine something against Ahmadiyyat and you attack Ahmadiyyat without any substance in it. So they have to go systematically about it. They have to decide whether Jihad, as they understand, is really Jihad. And then, of course, if we do not participate in that real Jihad, the question will then arise whether we are not participating because we do not want to, or because we are not participating because they do not want us to participate in Jihad. So that is the next question which will arise. But first, this whole system, whole methodology should be agreed upon.
Yes.
Now specifically, I'll address the Afghan problem with relation to this allegation. First of all, the Saudians have to define Islam and prove to the world that the Muslims of the north, which are fighting the Muslims of the south for atrocities committed against them and against humanity, are they true Muslims or not? Or those Taliban who commit atrocities against women, children, innocent people, are they truly Muslims? And what is the differentiating line between the two? Which is the divide between the two? How can we say they are Muslims and they are not Muslims? And previously, when they both jointly fought against Russian invasion of Afghanistan, it was the same Saudian forces, the authorities, and Pakistani authorities, which jointly declared their jihad against Russia. So first of all, they have to rule to throw out all the northern Muslims from the pale of Islam and prove the reason why they are not Muslims. Only then we can think of a possible jihad between the two. But what are they fighting for? The question is, the southern Muslims, or I should say the northern Muslims, the opposite. The northern Muslims which are close to Pakistan, they are fighting the southern Muslims which belong to Russia. And ex-Russia, I should say, but they in fact have inhabited South Afghanistan for so long as they have become a regular member of Afghanistan, regular patriots of Afghanistan. They belong mostly from the Uzbek group, which is Uzbekistan, and Tajik group, which is Tajikistan. Some experts tell us that of the Tajiks, half of the Tajiks have become Afghanistani. They live in Afghanistan, or they have been living in Afghanistan for centuries. So around 4 million Tajiks live in Afghanistan, and a very large number of the ex-Russian or ex-USSR inhabitants of Afghanistan are from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. So they all form that group which is fighting a war of their survival against the Taliban. Taliban want them to be ousted from their country. On what grounds will Saudi Arabia declare them as having forfeited their rights to live in their own country? And by what standards of Islamic morality they would decry them as people worthy of extinction? Without taking up these important fundamental issues, they go on blaming us for something for which we should be praised. We're not participating in that war because it's this stupid war of attrition by Muslims against Muslims. Again, I should invite the Saudis to exercise the same Islam as is exercised by Taliban. If that is Islam, then why do they not impose it in their own country? And why not Pakistan does so? If they are true Muslims, it is so easy for Pakistan to bring about a change in their concept of Islam and bring it closer or exactly to coincide with the concept of Islam held by the Taliban. So they can do it overnight, but they resist against it. They do not want that Islam to penetrate their country, which they themselves nurtured and supported and organized. What is this Jihad? This is based on lies. What is the Jihad where the people who are participating in Jihad are not depending on truth but on falsehood? You see, they claim, the Pakistanis claim, that they have nothing to do with Jihad, with this Jihad. If all the country Pakistan, who is sitting next door to these people, is not participating in Jihad, why does not Saudi Arabia condemn them for that? They openly claim that we have nothing to do with the Jihad in Afghanistan, with Taliban or whatever they are. And at the same time, when it comes to negotiation with Russia and bringing about a settlement between the Taliban and Russia, Pakistan's spokesman, or the foreign minister I should say, goes to Russia and settles his affairs with them. What have they got to do with it? Why do they settle affairs of Afghanistan on behalf of Taliban, while they have nothing to do with them? And again, where are they prepared? Where they are regimented? Where are there such military schools and colleges where they are being trained, if not within Pakistan? They are most certainly trained by Pakistanis. Where does the money come from? A huge army which is being maintained under Taliban has to be fed on something. Otherwise, Afghanistan is so poor that they will die of hunger and, total deprivation of everything which supports life. There's nothing on their own. All these things are fed to them, are supplied to them from outside. America cannot do it directly. Saudi cannot do it directly. So they all these things, all their financial support has to be channeled through Pakistan, or they will be starved to death. And the arms they're using, the helicopters, the plane, bombardment, the fighter planes and missiles, are they being manufactured in Afghanistan? They tell the whole world such blatant, stupid lies and call it jihad. If they're supporting them, they should admit it. If they're not supporting them, why should they go to Russia to represent them? And whatever is happening, this is being entitled jihad by Saudi Arabia. So I condemn this behavior, which is non-Islamic. Falsehood has nothing to do with truth, and nothing which is false can be declared as jihad.